Hey everyone, Alex Martin from the Sidewalk Science Center here, and today we are talking about what is probably the number one question that we've gotten at SSC the last couple of days. And even right before I went to record this video, I got an email from someone who went to our website being like, when are we going to be able to see the or not even the conjunction, the alignment of planets that is happening tonight and tomorrow night. So that's Monday and Tuesday, the 27th and 28th of March. So I take issue with this alignment. Being someone who stargazes almost every single night, you think I would have some appreciation for what this alignment actually is. But to the casual observer, this is not going to be some big spectacle in the sky. In fact, you're going to see almost nothing different at all. Venus has been extremely bright the last several months. People have definitely taken notice of it every time the moon goes by Venus, and on March 1st of this couple weeks ago, Venus and Jupiter were directly beside each other up in the sky, and we had an awesome event at the Lakewood Ranch Market at Ranch Night Wednesdays at Waterside Place, where we had more than 400 people look through our telescopes to witness Venus and Jupiter at the same time. This was a very visually stunning event. It was very easy to see in the sky. It was bright. Everyone was talking about it. And if you've paid any attention to how Venus and Jupiter have moved over the past few weeks, you now know, or you can see, that Jupiter is extremely low in the sky when the sun goes down. As Earth goes in its own orbit, we are leaving Jupiter behind, and Jupiter will be dropping behind the sun here in the next 2 to 3 weeks, where we won't see it again until October. When it comes to this alignment that people are talking about, we're talking about Mercury, we're talking about Jupiter, we're talking about Venus, we're talking about Neptune, I believe it is, and we're talking about Mars. And of course the moon is going to be in that mix also, because right now the moon is somewhere over here right above me. But this isn't going to be this great big spectacle that you're going to see in the sky. In fact, Mercury and Jupiter are so low on the horizon that if you don't catch them within 15 minutes to 30 minutes after the sun goes down, you aren't going to see them. You simply won't. Mercury itself is already an extremely difficult planet to see. It only pops above the horizon for 3 to 5 days at a time. When it's out, it's going around the sun so fast that it orbits the sun once every 3 Earth months. And it only rises high enough that you can see it for like a period of 3 to 5 days. It's very difficult to see if there's any atmospheric conditions that don't favor clear views in the west or the east if it's in the morning. So looking at a clear horizon for Mercury is the first challenge that you have, and it's not like a bright planet. It is noticeable when you do find it, but it's not like this thing that you're going to see and you're going to be like, whoa, that's like this incredible planet, Mercury. Jupiter is far enough away now from Venus that it's so low on the horizon that it's appearing as a tiny white dot in the sky. And it's barely noticeable from what it was even a couple weeks ago. Sorry, I keep dropping the phone. I need to get some sort of holder. So, Mercury and Venus, they'll be kind of near each other. So if you are able to find Jupiter, we're talking 10, 15, 20 minutes after sunset, maybe you'll see Mercury in there. It'll be a little bit below it to the west. Venus, of course, is the giant bright white dot that's in the sky. Yesterday it was, when the sun went down, yesterday it was halfway between the horizon and the moon. If you were at the Bay Park in Sarasota, we were there with 3 of our telescopes, giving people views of Venus, the moon, the Pleiades, and Orion's Nebula. So that was very easy to see. Venus is always the brightest thing in the sky besides the moon. Mars is another tricky one right now. Earth passed Mars back in December. That was almost 4 months ago. It's coming up on 5 months ago that we passed Mars. So Mars has shrunk from this big red dot in the sky to a tiny speck that's about the same magnitude as the star Aldebaran in the horns of Taurus the Bull. That's just below it, beside Orion. So tonight the moon will be nearer to Mars. If you see a red dot above the moon, that's going to be Mars. The final one is Uranus or Neptune, whichever planet it is. Can't remember off the top of my head. You're not going to see that. It won't be something under most conditions, especially in neighborhoods, especially in cities. You're simply not going to see it. It's hard enough to find in a telescope, let alone naked eye. Impossible. So that's what this conjunction kind of is going to be like. It's not going to be this big spectacle in the sky. It's going to be, okay, if you have the right conditions, maybe you'll see Mercury. If you know where Jupiter is, then Jupiter, it's findable. Venus will be the same as it's been the past couple weeks, and Mars will be closer to the moon than it was yesterday. Or I guess I should say the moon will be closer to Mars than it was yesterday. So when we talk about alignments of planets, what we're talking about are, they're visible all at the same time if you know where to look, but they aren't these grand spectacles. They're not these sights up in the sky that are cool to look at. They're usually very spread out. And of course, the planets are, speaking from an astronomer's perspective, the planets are always in a straight line in the sky, whether they're from west to east or kind of bunched up. But it's the conjunctions of planets passing right next to each other that are the cool things to see, like Jupiter and Saturn back in December 2020, or Jupiter and Venus just a couple weeks ago on March 1st. We've had Mars and Venus a couple weeks, I believe, before the Jupiter and Venus one. No, that's not true. That was Jupiter and Mars was a few weeks before that. So these planetary conjunctions are the ones that you want to be watching for. Those are the spectacles. Those are the things that are going to be cool to see in the telescope, versus just seeing, kind of knowing that this dot and this dot and that dot and that dot are planets. So that's my, personal take on this. I know I should be promoting this alignment more, but having just come down from the high of Jupiter and Venus being in the sky together, conjunctions are cooler than alignments. Alignments are straight lines of dots that are kind of spread out. We had a really good one on June 23rd and 24th. I will give you this. On June 23rd and 24th of 2022, we had Mercury, Venus, Mars, the moon, Jupiter, and Saturn all lined up in the sky. That was in the morning, and it was visually spectacular because they were all very bright, all very large in the sky, and very close together. So they were easy to see, and they presented a cool show to look at. That's just not going to be the case for this alignment that's happening today and tomorrow. So sorry to burst the bubble. That's just going to be the truth of it. That's what it's going to be like. It's not going to be something visually stunning to see. So anyway, after all that, we are going to be at Bayfront Park tomorrow, Tuesday, March 28th, looking at Venus, the moon, possibly Jupiter, but definitely those three. Then on Wednesday, we will be at Ranch Night Wednesdays at Waterside Place in Lakewood Ranch. And on Thursday, we have a private event at Southside Elementary School. And then on Friday, we will be at downtown Sarasota next to Madison's City Grill from about 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. And then on Saturday, this is a busy week. On Saturday, we will be at the Bay Park in Sarasota where we were last night. And we will be joining the Suncoast Stargazers there. We're expecting a couple hundred people if the conditions are clear. We'll have probably 10 plus telescopes out for people to use. And It's going to be a great night. We did another one with them back in October, and it was just spectacular with how many people showed up, and just getting to have this massive couple hundred group of people all doing astronomy together. So definitely come out to one of those events if you're in the area at all this week. Keep an eye in the sky. Even though I've basically just said the alignment is boring, but it's still something to try to see if you have a clear western horizon. If you have trees to your western horizon, you're simply not going to see Jupiter, you're not going to see Mercury, and you're not going to see Uranus or Neptune, whichever one it is, because it's just too far away to see with the naked eye, and under most conditions, even with a telescope. So I've been Alex Martin, and from Sidewalk Science Center. Catch us a couple times this week and every single week in public parks around Manatee and Sarasota counties. And if you've seen anything from us recently, you know that we just broke into St. Pete, so we will start having events up in St. Pete as well, free to the public downtown and in other areas. So to all our endeavors, because we have a future to create, we'll see you around. See you next time.